गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava, chapter 7, OV or verse number 124. The thought we were looking at was, by transcending this difficulty, creation in non-creation, the self has opened the doors of knowledge to seer-seen duality. Just like when we are walking on a misty morning, and in that misty morning we see a lamp, lamp post, and start imagining it to be a ghost. And as a result, there is nothing there. There is nothing there. There is only a lamp and there is only mist. But you start imagining a ghost, and as a result go through the experience of fear, etc., etc. Yeah. Same way, where is just like that, where the ghost is, it is a creationless creation. Where there is nothing there, yet you are seeing something there. Exactly the same way, this individual is seeing something where there is nothing but the reality, and seeing all this multiplicity where there is only unity, he starts interacting with this imagined multiplicity and starts going through the reactions, starts going through the expectations, ambitions, possessions, anxieties, etc., etc. And this is and that's when so really speaking, there is only one, and that one, as if, we can only use that word as if sees something where there is nothing to see. And hence his creation begins. His world of duality begins. He becomes the seer and that becomes the seen. Today in the meditation, that's what thought was, that mind, the potentiality of the Lord, is not other than Him. Similarly, the potentiality of you, what is your potentiality? Your mind is your potentiality. That mind is not other than you, the self. But how do we experience that mind? As separate to ourselves, isn't it? So a vision, initially yes, to come to recognize that this mind is not other than me, that this is a phenomena which is taking place, it is not a real thing. A real thing is only one, it cannot be two. And that one real thing is the consciousness or the conscious principle, pure consciousness. So what is the final stage? The final stage is recognizing the mind, the senses, the body, the space, air, fire, water, earth, everything to be of the nature of the self alone. If that is the ultimate goal, then why are we imagining right now? That is the question. Why are you doing that? That is because of incomplete knowledge. We have imagined something where there is nothing to be imagined. Looking at a girl, we imagine I am the husband. Looking at a child, we imagine we are the father, isn't it? And we keep taking the various roles. Where are those roles? Are they real? Are the roles that we are playing, are they real? No, they are only an imagination. And we make them so real, and we play the role so well, and if we don't play it, we feel bad, we feel guilty, we want to continue to be better and better and better. But with regards to what? With an imagination. With something that is seems to be existing but actually is not. What is that? The role. Same thing is the mind also. It seems to be there but actually it is not. And where is the whole world? In the mind. Isn't it? Where is the whole world? Only in the way, in the mind, and that mind is now going through the waking world, the dream world and the deep sleep, unmanifest. So if the mind itself, now forget about the world trying to solve the situations of the world. Come back to the mind where the whole world exists. What is this mind? It seems to be there but actually is not there. And we have taken it to be real. And we are at its mercy. So, where should our attention be? On something that which seems to be there but is not there, or the one who knows that something seems to be there but is not there? What is the substratum? We must come back to the essential, come back to the core. And what is that core? That core is which has never changed. It is ever. Mind keeps going, fluctuating. Mind keeps changing.
Can I just interrupt and ask? Mind is thoughts, isn't it? I mean, mind is self, or whatever, but thoughts are what we call mind, that are coming and going and fluctuating and all this sort of thoughts. You're talking about thoughts and that which watches the thoughts.
Yes, you can say that. You can say that. But mind is not just thoughts. Mind is not just thoughts. Because we have a mind which is empty also. And we have a mind which is full of thoughts also. Isn't it?
Is it not the same mind?
It is. But when you say that mind is thoughts, it is not a complete understanding. Because mind can be a silent mind or mind can be a turbulent mind. Isn't it? So that is the two ends of it. One is the unmanifest mind and one is the manifest mind. Again it comes to the same thing. Understand?
Thank you.
Now coming to the 124th OV, this thought what I have just explained, it is continued. Drushya chiya srushti dithi vari dithi uthiliya talavati chin matrachi. There continues to be an upsurge of knower known duality, and yet the non-dual pure undivided consciousness continues to be the same. Exactly what I was just now saying. When the consciousness manifests in the form of the two aspects, seer and seen, it is called mind. So what is mind? It is the I and the that thought interaction, isn't it? The seer is the I and the seen is the that. And this continuous interaction between the I thought and the that thought brings about something called mind. Every thought arises in the mind like a wave on the ocean, like a throb or sphurna or manifestation of the potentiality in the pure consciousness. The thought has two aspects. One is the content of the object, the idam vritti, and along with this, the knower, the aham vritti is also born, what I just now told you. Now these two, where is the wave existing? Is it existing in water or is it separate to water?
It is the water.
It is the water, right? Where is the thought arising? Is it arising in consciousness or is it outside consciousness?
In the consciousness.
In the consciousness, as the consciousness. Okay? So really speaking, the thought is nothing but the reality, but when it appears as a wave thought, then it is called, that thought is of two types. One is the knower thought, one is the known thought. Just like water is there, but you see the water as what? The wave. But then where do you say, you don't say the wave is in the water, you say wave is in the ocean, isn't it? You say wave is in the ocean. See? Similarly here, the wave is in the thought wave is in the consciousness. Why is it called a thought wave? Why is it called a thought wave? Because that thought wave has come about because of the I and the that. These two come, when they come together, then the thought wave is created.
But it's all one thing.
It's all one thing.
That's a miracle, isn't it? How
It is
actually
that,
do-
but
absolutely.
that is the phenomena which cannot be worked out. But this is the best way that the scriptures can explain. It cannot be worked out. You can little bit understand, but when you start thinking about it, you will vanish. When you start thinking about it, here the idea is not to understand. Here the idea is to come to some semblance, and while we are contemplating in this, we vanish. Because the purpose is what? Amrutanubhava. Amrutanubhava is what? Nectar of experience of the nectar of immortality. That is our goal. So all these approaches are given by looking at ourselves so that we come to recognize we are that immortal reality. It's not to appreciate that there is a I thought or a that thought. It is not to appreciate whether ignorance is there or not there. With each thought, a new trio of knower-known knowledge is born and dies. Thus, each thought is independent of the next and yet connected like beads on a string. All the thought beads, whether joyful or not so joyful, are supported by one substratum, the pure consciousness. This thought gets reflected in Bhagavad Gita, Sutre Maniganaiva, in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. There the Lord says, I am the substratum and the whole world is strung like beads in me. I am the thread and the whole world is strung in me like the beads. Now what is same thing you bring here? What is strung in you? What is the bead here? Every bead, every thought is the bead. And how is a thought formed? The knower, the known, the knowledge. The seer, seen, and the seeing. The knower, known, knowledge. The experiencer, experienced and experiencing. Hearer, heard, hearing, and so on. So, at any given moment, only the I can interact with only one knowledge. The seer can only see. When seer, seen, seeing, one thought is over, it goes away. Then the next hearer, heard, hearing is coming, then that goes away. Then knower, known, knowing is coming, that goes away. And this way, continuously, the triad are coming and going, and coming and going of each triad is equal to coming and going of each thought. One triad is equal to one thought. One triad is equal to one thought. But there must be, if the water is coming and going on a river, in the river, when we stand on the banks of the river, we see the river flowing. It has to have a base on which the water can flow, isn't it? So what is that base? We say it is the riverbed, isn't it? Exactly the same way. So what is a river? River is we just looking at water. But somewhere deep inside we know river cannot be a river without a riverbed, isn't it? So when the word river in normal parlance means only the movement of moving water. But actually speaking, the river word includes the substratum and the flowing water. The riverbed and the flowing water. Exactly the same way. The word mind includes the substratum, the consciousness, and the flow of thoughts. But what we say, mind is only thoughts. But mind is, for the mind to be mind, there must be a substratum, there must be a foundation on which the thoughts are coming and going all the time. That foundation is the consciousness. And what are these? That in the 7th chapter the Lord said, I am that substratum. And what are the thoughts? The thoughts, each set of thoughts which are coming and going, coming and going, coming and going, they are the beats. And that is what is explained here. And those thoughts can be good, bad, ugly, divine, ridiculous, anxious thoughts, loving thoughts, devotional thoughts. So many different types of thoughts are there. Now your question will be, might be there in the mind, then what is ego? This continuous movement of thoughts, because a thought can be formed only when the three are coming together, right? At any given moment, I is always one, the that, the known, the seen, the experienced, the heard, the tasted, all these objects of knowledge keep changing, but I always remains the same. So first it interacted with this, one thought came and went, then again I interacted with the second one, then the second thought went, then the third interacted, the third thought went away. But I remains the same. It can interact with each object of knowledge only one at a time. But it is happening at such a great speed that an illusion of continuity is created. And that illusory continuity, the one who owns that illusory continuity and feels that he is the continuous, is the ego.
But then it comes about from the interaction with the outside world, isn't it? And the hearing and the senses and everything. It all builds up to...
Say that again.
The ego is built up then of all the things that come through the sight and the sound and the senses, from out there to there to there. And
That is a wrong conclusion. Ego does not come about because of the stimuli coming in. It doesn't. A realized master is also having the stimuli coming in, but he is not owning it. Can you stop while living not to see if the eyes are open? Can you stop the ears from hearing if the sounds are there? But what you can stop is taking ownership of it, becoming identified with it.
Yeah.
Got it? So that identification is what it's creating the entity called ego, or
It is the one that's identifying.
It is also the I, but it is the imaginary one. Actually, it is only interacting with one stimuli at a time. As long as you do that, then you are living in the moment. But when you start imagining that all the moments are connected, all the thoughts are connected, and all thoughts are mine, and I felt that bad thought, now I am feeling this good thought, I was born at that time and I am now so many years old and I am one day going to die, or I should have done that, or I should not have done that. All this, who is saying all this? That imaginary continuity is taking the ownership of all the thoughts from birth till now.
That's creating the I sense.
The
because of
the ego,
rapidity
yeah,
of it,
the ego
and
sense, not the I sense, the ego sense.
the ego sense, yeah.
What is ego? The one who wants to do and to enjoy.
But behind that again, or on top, the
That-
substratum of that is the, as you call it, is
Correct,
the
correct.
complete consciousness.
So now
that just
this
says
I
that.
has to recognize that it is independent. This is the phenomena of I thought interacting with objective thoughts. This is a phenomena which is going on. This is a phenomenon. To recognize that phenomena, first you have to separate yourself from the objective objects. Then, when this subject, the I thought, starts thinking of its source, that's when everything gets
Fear.
clear. So, also, all the thought beats, whether joyful or not joyful, are supported by one substratum, the pure consciousness. So also there is a new trio of the waker, waking experience and the waking world, with each experience, so also in the case of the dream state, but all these trios, although independent, are supported by the same pure consciousness. Now we just now looked at only the waking state and the thoughts as the stimuli. Now you just divide all the thoughts into three categories. The waker is the I thought, and the waking world is the that thought. The dreamer is the I thought, and the dream world is the that thought. The deep sleeper is the I thought, and the deep sleep world is the that thought. So again, these three are continuously coming and going, and you have taken ownership. You are thinking it is a continuous thing, and you take the ownership of that and become miserable on account of having the sleep or not having the sleep, or on account of a good dream or a terrible dream, and say so also all the thoughts. Now you can see, instead of looking at one what you call in the waking state, each thought being formed, you know that these three, waking, dream and deep sleep, coming with their corresponding worlds of experience, they come and go on a daily basis. But can the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper with their corresponding worlds, the objective world that they experience, can they exist? Yes, they seem to. Right now we are in the waking world and we feel that the dream world is somewhere, it's a gaga thing, who cares about it, and it's just a figment of imagination. But you also know that these three cannot come and go without, just like a river cannot come and go without a riverbed. Similarly, the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper with their corresponding worlds cannot come and go without a substratum. That substratum is the real you. That substratum is the real you. When air is exhaled, where does it go? When it is inhaled, where from does it come? At that point, one experiences a constant throb at the level of each cell. Thus, one can notice two phenomena. One is the manifestation of consciousness without knowledge, such as the involuntary psychological functions, and the second is the manifestation of consciousness with knowledge. It goes on continuously with reference to the knowingness. So, after one knowledge, another knowledge is born. One throb arises in the form of knower known knowledge trio and disappears, and it is rejected. Then the second trio is born, stays for a brief moment, and is also rejected, and so on. There is a continuous eruption of knowledge waves. So how do you come to know? See, we have to think of a thought to see that it is coming and going, right? So either you chant the name of the Lord, or here what Swamiji has told is catch the throb. What is that throb? You can even catch your heartbeat for that matter. So First heartbeat is there. You know, you are the knower. Heartbeat is the known, and the knowledge is taking place in your mind. One heartbeat comes, it goes away, isn't it? Does it stay continuously? No. One heartbeat comes and goes away. Then there is a gap. Then the next heartbeat comes. Again, you are the knower. Heartbeat is the known, and the knowledge is taking place in the mind. A thought is created. Second heartbeat. Again, that goes away. Then again, the next heartbeat comes. See? So, because what we are trying to find out, at this moment when I am speaking continuously, it is very difficult to catch one after the other thoughts. So we have to slow the thoughts down. So how do you slow the thoughts down? Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to the throb by focusing on the breath, and it will slow down. Sometimes in meditation we do that, isn't it? It comes, you become aware of it. So instead of just trying to, what is the throb, where has it come from, no, understand, this throb is a phenomena that the one throb, second throb, is throb more important or the one who is independent of the throb more important? Our focus is on something. Our focus should be on the one who is focusing. Then everything gets over. But the substratum, the pure consciousness, is only one as ever. When the attention is on the waves, one talks of manyness. If you think of the throb, you talk of the world, you talk of the thoughts, you talk of the mind, your attention is extrovert, and there is no solution for that. Not only there is no solution in the world is in your mind. When you think about the mind, there is no solution in the mind also. So do not intellectualize only. By logic you will not come to any conclusion in life. By question answers one cannot come to any conclusion in life. Then where should the attention be? It should be on the substratum, not on the wave. It should be on the water. So here, on the substratum of consciousness, the waves are expressing in two waves. One is the sentiency, the other the knower-known knowledge trio. Once the trio gets strengthened, then the identification with the Vijnanmaya Kosh becomes firm. That means the intellectual sheath, the identification with the intellectual sheath becomes firm. Identification with the individuality is too strong, and such individuals are unable to drop the world, to forget and forgive. They have too much expectations from the world. All this results in the bondage to the wakerhood. So the more we give importance, the more we give credence, the more we give value and attention to the world. Yesterday also someone asked, Swamiji, why? But the world came out of bliss and everything, but how do we understand so much pain and so much terrorism going on, killing going on, famine going on? How do we understand? You cannot understand. Nobody has ever been able to understand. By looking at the problem, you will not understand the problem. When you step out of the problem, then you can understand the problem. You all know that. If you are in the problem, you will never be able to solve the problem. You have to take a step back from the problem, and then you can, even if it is inside the house, there's too many things going on. I don't know if you are at a job or something. Suddenly you take a chill pill and you just move out of the situation, go for 2 or 3 breaths, or stop everything, or go out of your workplace. Suddenly you get a refreshing look of how everything is going on. You have to step out of the problem. So if your mind is the problem with so many thoughts and you are not able to understand, you have to step out of the mind. How do you step out of the mind? By being the substratum. Do you need to do anything to be the substratum? No, you are already that. Then what do you have to? All the thoughts are coming and going. I know that. then are the thoughts more important, or the one who knows that the thoughts are coming and going, that fellow is more important? Thoughts are coming and going, which means they are temporary. The one who knows that they are coming and going is permanent. He is never gone anywhere. But we focus on the thoughts and dig our own grave, create our own confusions, create more doubts. So come back to the one unchanging principle. This has to be remembered initially. And that is why we study the scriptures. Because this continuous obsession with thoughts, obsession with logic, obsession with the objective world is not going to bring about the tranquility that you are seeking. There are no answers in this world. There are no answers. Because the whole world is in your mind, and mind itself is a phenomena. How can phenomena give you answers? A mirage is a phenomena. How can you drink the waters of the mirage? You cannot. And that's what we are trying in the waking world, to get happiness from the world. It is not possible. Think about it a little bit coolly. All this results in the bondage of the waker. Dreamer doesn't get bounded by the dream world. When he wakes up, he forgets the dream. Next day, new one. Waker, he doesn't want to forget. So next morning he gets up, again wants to give a lecture. Again wants to understand. Again wants to indulge. See, obsession. He has not yet given up. The continuity. What he has not given up? He has not given up the continuity. The ownership that all this is, that I was there yesterday and I am there today also. But with respect to the world, yes, the feeling of I has to be beyond the time. Therefore the feeling is that I was yesterday also, today also, and I will be there tomorrow also, because I is beyond time. But where is he superimposing that continuity? Onto the objective world. And that is the pulling of past into the present, and eventually wants to take the present into the future. And this imagined continuity is the problem, is the identification. So we have to get out of that. On the ocean of consciousness, millions of waking, dream state and deep sleep experiences are born. Just as it is impossible to locate the position of a wave with reference to time and space, so it is impossible to locate any individuality with reference to time and space. Speaking from the position of the wave, the Lord says, "You and I have taken many births, Arjuna. The only difference is I know all of them, and you as a wave know none." So you also take that position. Don't you know that right now all the thoughts have come and gone? Isn't it? See? When the Lord says, we both have taken many births, that means the I thought and the that thought has taken many births. The total I and the individual I is there. The ocean knows all the waves, the birth of all the waves and the destruction of all the waves. But the individual waves doesn't know all the waves, can never know all the waves, isn't it? Only by taking the position of the ocean, the wave will be able to recognize the presence and absence of all the waves, isn't it? And how will it come to know all the waves? Not through thought. It's its own nature. They are all included in it, isn't it? In the ocean. But as much as a wave, a single wave may try, it can never in its entire this lifetime or many lifetimes, ever come to know all the waves on the ocean. And this is what we are trying to do as an individual. And what is an individual? Who considers himself only to be this body, and with this body we are trying to understand the whole world. It will not be possible. It will not be possible. Then is there any way out? Yes, there is a way out. Recognize that you are something more than this body. What is that? Then the whole scheme is told. You are not the body, you are not the breath, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are the conscious principle. The more you come to abide as the conscious principle, as the substratum, slowly this vision that all the waves are in me will be presented to you. You cannot work it out. It will be presented to you. It will be revealed to you. See? Let us develop the technique by which the attention will only be on the Shuddha Chaitanya, means pure consciousness, ignoring all the other experiences which come and go. See how same thought is being expressed. Just as something in the dream plane itself throws one out of the dream state of consciousness, in the same way, something in the waking plane of consciousness alone will throw one out of the waking plane of consciousness to the Shuddha Chaitanya, and that I is. So who throws you out of the dream? The I throws you out of the dream. Then who will throw you out of the waking? I will throw you out of the waking. When one learns to see the three planes of consciousness as a game that is being played by the Lord, then nothing in the world can be taken seriously. Just as the fire in cinema story is not taken seriously, that is the vision of the absolute I, the Chinmatra, the Shuddha Chaitanya, is as it always is. In all the three planes of experiences, to focus attention on this pure consciousness is the only sadhana, and to discover the meaning of relationless relationship is the only goal of human life and a way to explain pure knowledge. So nobody can explain pure knowledge, but they can attempt, and this is one of the ways to an attempt to explain. But what can you explain about a phenomena? You can't. What can you talk about this? You can write books after books about the snake on the rope. But as much as you may write, that snake is unreal. It is only an appearance. It is only it is an unreality. See? It's only an unreality. Same way, the more you are in your mind as the mind, you will never be able to come out of the phenomena. Mind is the phenomena, understand this. Mind is the phenomena. And that mind is going through the cycle of waking, dream and deep sleep. That mind itself is becoming the waker and the waking world. The mind itself is becoming the dreamer and the dream world. The mind itself is becoming the deep sleeper and the deep sleep world. Don't you know all this? Yes. Find out who is this fellow who knows all this. Find out. Slow down. Accept yourself. Maintain that poise without a thought. Maintain the poise without a thought. That it is me, it is not someone else, it is me. I know that these three came and went. What does it mean? What is the impact of this statement that the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper from childhood till now have come and gone, and I have known? Every morning I get up and say, I had a good sleep. I know on a daily basis that the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper are coming and going. Who is this me? But I feel I am the waker. But I also felt I was a dreamer when I was in the dream. But when I woke up, the dream vanished. What does it mean to wake up from the waking plane? Then can I think about the world and wake up? Or do I have to think about what is the true nature of this I who is asking these questions right now? Oh, so questions are only putting me further away from the I consciousness that I am. Every question takes us away from the I. So, what do I need to do? Let me be silent for a change. Let me remain in that poise without any disturbance. Let the day come and go without this pure consciousness that I am being disturbed. Let the waker, one cycle of waker, dream and deep sleep come and go, but let me be aware of it all the time, in silence. Let the mind think, but I will remain an observer. I will remain untouched by the mind, because this mind is going through the waking plane, dream plane and deep sleep plane. So why should I get worried about what is happening in the waking plane? If I am not worried about what happened in the dream plane, I should not be worried about what is happening in the waking plane also. So let me stand apart. Give yourself one chance. Oh, again I started thinking in this manner. Again I am creating more thoughts in my mind, thinking that I must stand apart. Okay, they have come by themselves. They have brought me to this point. Let me remain silent now. Remain silent. Remain silent then. And allow it to reveal. Allow it to reveal that you are that one. Then you will not fight against the waking world. You will not fight against the husbands, wives, children, people, terrorism, killing, disease. You will not. You will accept everything in the mind, but you will not be attached to the mind. Just like you allow the phenomena of sunrise and sunset to come and go, but do you get affected by it? No, you accept it without any comment. You see the mirage on a hot day, you accept it without any comment. In fact, your wonderment is there. You are fascinated. Oh my God, look at that, how it is, and you show it to the other children and this and that. There is joy. So when you see this phenomena called mind functioning, there will be joy. Hey, look at this, oh my God. Then what will be your interaction with the phenomena? Not of misery. It will be that of bliss. Think little bit differently. We have, whatever way we have been thinking has not given us any solution. So think in a different way and a refreshing way, as Jnaneshwar Maharaj is prodding us to approach. This pure knowledge revels in the intoxication of plenitude and expresses itself in infinite varieties of waves, never repeating itself. No river, no wave on the ocean is ever the same. No thought in your mind can ever be the same. No, but yesterday I was and yesterday I was a woman, and today I am also a woman. Yesterday I was a mother, today also I am a mother. Last week I came to the class, this week also I am the class. Everything is the same. No, it is not the same. That illusion of sameness is there, but in 1 week you have grown. From one thought, if I say, these 3 words, if I say, they are happening in a sequence. By the time I have said if I have changed, then I has changed, say has changed. I have already changed because moment has passed. We don't realize that. But we have already changed. So no thought whether it is of it's a daytime, we are in the 2015, or we are in this room, everything is continuously changing, but we don't have that vision to see the change at that finer level because our minds are too fast. The identification is so deep. If we slow down, and put our attention on the conscious principle, it will become self-evident. The phenomena will lose its impact on you. The phenomena will lose impact on you. You don't have to do anything to drop the phenomena. Phenomena will still continue, but it will not be able to entice you. It will not be able to affect you. It will not be able to trap you, because you are not giving it any value and attention. So what does the verse say? Darshana riddhi bahuvasa chitcheshu matala aisa zeshila napahe arisa vedyaratnacha. This pure consciousness has become so presumptuous, intoxicated and arrogant that it revels on the plenitude of the seen and does not repeat seeing the same stale object again. He is talking it from the consciousness point of view. How beautiful it is. Knowledge, darshana, expresses itself as drashta, the knower, the seer, which when it comes in contact with the seen, the drishya results in knowledge. Thus the knowledge expresses itself both as the seer and the seen. What is this knowledge? The consciousness. Consciousness is knowledge. This knowledge, the reflected consciousness, it expresses as the seer and the seen, the I and the that thought. Then knowledge becomes arrogant and also extravagant out of his own plenitude, because what is this self? Self is infinite. There is no end to it. There is no beginning and no end. So infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. See? Just like in your daily life, you are not happy with the same food on a daily basis. You want something different in the morning, something different in the lunch. Imagine eating bread, or banana, for day in and day out, and every time you're hungry, banana. You don't, it's boring. Similarly, the self also does not like it, because it is inherent in its nature. And what is its nature? Infinity. Infinity. Infinite possibilities. So this this knowledge, this reality, out of itself expresses as the I, and out of itself, out of that phenomena, out of itself expresses as the that objects infinite ways of interaction. The I remains the same, but the objects keep changing and keep changing because it has the potential to express as the many.
I was going to say, when I get the idea for a painting, there are 1,000 and how many
ways to approach
variations of
Yes.
doing even one little dot on the painting,
Correct.
and it can express itself. And I've got the job of sort of waiting for it to sort of
The
fall
right
into
one
the
to
whole
come out,
picture.
yes.
But it comes, you know.
Yes.
That's exactly the same
Yes,
thing.
yes. So we just conclude this thought and then they can go. Where are we? Therefore, he manifests as a multitude of names and forms, never repeating his creation. Each jewel, object of knowledge, is discarded and a new one is created. There never was a time when this drashta drashya darshana game of the seer seen seeing the three partners was not being played. It is not unique to one individual, it is universal principle. If this vision is clear, then one will stop reacting to the world and will only respond to it as a divine manifestation. In the same way, every experience of meditation is unique, and it will be against the Lord's luxurious extravagance of abundance to expect a repetition of the same experience. Every experience is unique, but the truth is only one. Thus, that pure knowledge is the center of the circle with no circumference. Paramatma Tattva is akhanda mandalakara, means it is homogeneous mass of consciousness. That great circle which has no circumference anywhere but which has a center everywhere. Contemplation on this thought will lead one to that state where one is as extravagant as the Lord Himself, with love for everything and being, accepting every wave of experience as it comes. So beautiful, Swamiji has written the commentary. So beautiful. So how should be our interaction with the world? Out of joy. We should not run away from anything. Every thought, every experience, every sound, everything seen, whatever stimuli are coming, joyfully interact with it. And when you are joyful, inside there is silence. Whenever you are happy, inside there is silence. When there is non-attachment, then there is joy. When there is attachment, only misery comes. The fear of losing. Same thing happens on the meditation also. We want the same experience, as Swamiji says. So continue to come back to your essential nature. Recognize yourself as that pure consciousness. Don't become that miserable entity who is keeping grudges, not forgetting the past, not able to forgive itself and the others, who's continuously judging and passing comments. No point. That will only happen when your attention is on the other. But if your attention is on yourself and you come to see yourself in this light, that you are the substratum, nothing but joy will express out of you. And nothing can be done about the phenomena. The mind will continue. Mind will continue, but that expression of the mind is not out of misery. That expression of mind is out of the bliss of the reality. Is out of the bliss of reality. So in this way, we must contemplate these 5 verses. These 5 verses are going to explain this point. We have done 2, so we'll see.
Those last few pages have been extraordinary.
Extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
You know, you saw that last week yourself. You said that was, you learned a lot out of it last week. We've got a lot out of it last week.
That's right.
So in this way, we must contemplate what Jnaneshwar Maharaj is telling us. Come back to yourself again and again. Come back to the real you again and again. And all this attempt is to make you recognize the real you, in spite of the phenomena.
It's self-evident. It's
Self-evident.
But unfortunately, we covered up with all this bloody bullshit.
No, again, but that is an excuse we are giving to ourselves. So if it is right now, something clicked, so she said it is self-evident, remain in that without commenting that we are covered by all this bullshit. No, don't go in that direction. The more you go in that direction, the more you are immediately you have disconnected from yourself. The moment you give that how you have been caught by the world, even though it is self-evident when you come to and listen to a satsang, you are allowing the world to impact you by talking about it. If it is self-evident, remain silent and remain in the glow of that self-effulgence that you are. Allow it to spread its waves of bliss. Allow it to spread its knowledge. Allow it to reveal itself in its entirety. But the moment we think about the world, again it gets constricted into individuality. So the individuality is also the I, the totality is also the I, the absolute is also the I. But what is individuality? Which is thinking of everything else. What is totality? Which includes everything else. What is absolute? Which is one without a second. So if we are going to talk about the world, we are individual. If we include the world in the definition of I, then there is no need to talk about the world. We accept everything, reject nothing, retain nothing. That is the state of totality. Then there is nothing to comment about. Then that is the poise that we are just now, that's why I corrected. So maintain that poise. So for one moment it clicks, it is self-evident. Then remain there. Be that. Be that. Don't sabotage it by thinking. Because it's beyond that feeling that came, or that the disposition that came about was not because of the thinking. It was not because of a feeling. It was not because of the mind. It was beyond the mind. So be there. Be that. And the more we be in that, it will...
I'm going nuts, I really am, it's wonderful.
It is.
The more mad I
You're
get.
talking about the individual thoughts, you know, and we imagine continuity and so forth. I thought of the way they make animated films.
Absolutely.
Everything's still, and they join it together, and it gives it.
So beautiful, Amma. Very nice one.
Yes.
Very nice one.
Yeah, that's you can explain that more to me afterwards, I'm
They,
knowledgeable one.
just now someone sent me an SMS and a WhatsApp, and they got a book, and they have drawn the cartoons.
Yeah.
And all he's doing is taking the book like this, and he's doing,
Yeah.
and you can see the first there were two players, then the two players started playing with the ball. You can see the movement of their legs and they are running around, but all he is doing is flipping the pages at a great speed. But is that continuity present?
No.
Each page is independent, isn't it?
Yes.
But the continuity, the speed at which the pages are being flipped over is creating that unreal continuity.
Yes, that's
That
right.
there is a football match going on, and you can see the whole match. I can show it to you.
Oh, good.
I think the cartoonists always done that.
Exactly, the
before
cartoon.
they do the stuff they do.
Absolutely, cartoonists do the same thing.
Yes,
The
I know.
animation also. First they do it on the paper like that, and then they do it.
Then you're saying,
Exactly the same way is our.
Yeah.
so that's giving us the idea of I being like the ego, this continuous.
This idea of
So
continuity.
fast.
Exactly.
It's there in its own absence. That's what you've been
Absolutely.
telling me.
Yes. Thanks to her with that example. Good one. Very good one. Same, we have said it in a different way. We have said it like on the screen of the TV.
Yeah, but I did it so-
All the forms and space, air, fire, water, all that is continuous, but actually it is not there on the TV screen. It's an imagination, isn't it? It's a projection. Same way, here also, when you are flipping the pages, it's a imagination, it's a projection of continuity, but actually there is no continuity.
And that's what the consciousness is actually doing.
It doesn't do anything.
Well, it doesn't do
It
anything,
just
but I mean,
is.
it all appears on its own.
That phenomena
Yeah.
of multiplicity is going on.
But it's still all one thing, isn't it? There's no real duality in this whole thing.
There is no
It
duality.
appears to be.
It appears to be, but actually is not.
Yes.
Now that we cannot pinpoint how does it work out. We can give you this example, that example, this example, but all examples put together is not what it is. They can give you different visions of how it could be, but what it is a unique one.
The whole thing is though, with all these examples that you give, I might see it in one example, grasp the truth, but somebody else, because of how they're made up, will see another example, and that's right for them. It's all the same thing.
But what we are saying is, each example is giving you a different take of approach to that reality that you are. All examples put together, even for one person, is not equal to understanding.
No.
You cannot understand it.
No.
It has to be revealed. It has to click from within.
Yeah,
And that possibility, because what is reality? Which is self-knowing. No amount of examples, no amount of inference, no amount of techniques, no amount of anything is ever going to reveal it, because it is self-revealing. But what scriptures and studies and satsangs do, bring your attention of the mind to yourself, so that that self-revelation becomes possible. So that the mind slows down, and this self which is always there, which is self-revealed, starts revealing itself, and suddenly it clicks to you that, hey, without a thought, that yes, I am that.
But we need to come here.
In,
And all over
you
a
don't
period
you
of
don't
time.
need to.
Don't need to. But
You
it
don't
helps.
need to,
Yeah.
because you feel that you need to come, so you need to come. But if there are so many people who are completely content and they have come to know that within their own self as their self without any support. But if you feel that there is still time, why remain sitting watching TV or go do unwanted stuff when this is so exhilarating?
Oh,
So, so better to be in such company rather than that company which takes you away from yourself, isn't it? That's why we keep doing satsangs, so that we keep reminding, even though no reminder is required.
why
But
do I
we-
wake up every morning? In my bedroom, it's my study because I've got all my books and notebooks and everything around.
So with this we conclude, and then we'll talk. Because
Oh, sorry.
Concluding the session.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.